Yeah, 4. Keep 4, and after that you can take it over. Can I have 6 family members to... The brothers want to carry? Please. Are you?
What's my resume? Ang yakas.
Rajendra will come and pray. Amma, you can be there, then you can join with us. With me. All ready? One can come this way. Om Namah Shivaya, 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 Om.
Right.
Namaste. Good morning to respected elders and family and friends. We would like to begin this memorial service with the invocation prayer. After the invocation, the family is going to do the first viewing. Then subsequently, we ask all of you to come and view and pay your respects. And thereafter, we will begin the official memorial service. Thank you. We would like to now begin with the invocation.
Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. Let me take this away. Once again, just to do that, the full the start from this side. Come back. Om Namah Shivaya, 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 Om Namah Shivaya. You want them to be close by? and friends. Now we would like to kindly request all of you to come forward to pay the floral tribute. And while this is taking place, we're going to chant God's name. And the day that Raj left all of us, subsequently the family made arrangements today to do the last rites. But today, according to the Hindu calendar, is a blessed week that begins from today as the Ramayan week and continues celebrating the Avatara day of Lord Shri Ram, which is on the 30th of March. To celebrate this and unite the individual soul of Rajendra to the universal soul, God, we're going to call Lord Shri Ram's name while you are coming to pay tribute. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om. 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 Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Om. 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 Thank you. May I kindly request all of you, please raise for the invocation mantras to begin officially the memorial service. Can I kindly request all of you, please raise for it. Thank you. The invocation mantras that we're going to recite today is put together by the Himalaya Jyoti, His Holiness Swami Shivananda Ji Maharaj. As I am seeing in front of me that people from all faith traditions are gathered here, let us do a prayer that connect ourselves to the all names and forms of the Supreme Personality of Godhood. May I kindly request all of you, please raise for the invocation mantras. Om Sri Sadguru Paramatmane Namaha. Om Sri Sadguru Bhagavan Shivanandaye Namaha. Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwaraha. Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Dhyana Moolam Gurur Murti Puja Moolam Gurur Badam. Mantra Moolam Gurur Vakyam. Moksha Moolam Guru Kripa. Moksha Moolam Shivanandaye Kripa. Jai Ganesha Jai Ganesha Jai Ganesha Pahi Mam. Sri Ganesha Sri Ganesha Sri Ganesha Raksha Mam. Jaya Saraswati Jaya Saraswati Jaya Saraswati Pahi Mam. Sri Saraswati Sri Saraswati Sri Saraswati Raksha Mam. Jai Sri Durga Jai Sri Durga Jai Sri Durga Pahi Mam. Jai Sri Durga Jai Sri Durga Jai Sri Durga Raksha Mam. Jai Sri Kali Jai Sri Kali Jai Sri Kali Pahi Mam. Jai Sri Kali Jai Sri Kali Jai Sri Kali Raksha Mam. Jai Sri Lakshmi Jai Sri Lakshmi Jai Sri Lakshmi Pahi Mam. Jai Sri Lakshmi Jai Sri Lakshmi Jai Sri Lakshmi Raksha Mam. Saravana Bhava Saravana Bhava Saravana Bhava Pahi Mam. Subramanya 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 Rakshmam Dattatreya 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 Pahimam Datta Guru Datta Guru Datta Guru Rakshamam Shivananda 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 Pahimam Shivananda 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 Rakshamam Venkatesha 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 Pahimam Venkatesha 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 Rakshamam Jaya Guru Shiva Guru Hari Guru Ram Jagat Guru Param Guru Sadguru Shyam Om Adi Guru Advaita Guru Ananda Guru Om Chit Guru Chingana Guru Chinmaya Guru Om Jaya Siya Ram Jaya Jaya Siya Ram Jaya Radhe Shyam Jaya Jaya Radhe Shyam Jaya Hanuman Jaya Jaya Hanuman Jaya Hanuman Jaya Jaya Hanuman Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Sivananda Sivananda Sadguru Nada Sivananda Jaya Adonai Sri Adonai Jaya Adonai Sri Adonai O my Jesus, O Lord Jesus, Hail, hail Jesus, O Savior, Savior, O my Mary, O Virgin Mary, Hail, hail Mary, O Mother, Mother, O my Buddha, O Lord Buddha, Hail, hail Buddha, O Father, Father, O my Allah, O Lord Allah, Hail, hail Allah, O Khuda, Khuda, O my Shakti, O Adi Shakti, Hail, hail Shakti, O Mother, Mother, Sivananda, Sivananda, Sadguru Nada, Sivananda. O adorable Lord of mercy and love, salutations and adorations unto Thee. Thou art omnipresent, omnipotent, and omniscient. Thou art the Satchidananda, existent, knowledge, and bliss absolute. Thou art the indweller of all beings. Grant us an understanding heart, equal vision, balanced mind, faith, devotion, and wisdom. Grant us inner spiritual strength to resist temptation and to control the mind. Free us from egoism, lust, greed, anger, and hatred. Fill our heart with the divine virtues. Let us behold Thee in all these names and forms. Let us serve Thee in all these names and forms. Let us ever remember Thee. Let us ever sing Thy glories. Let Thy name be ever on our lips. Let us abide in Thee forever and ever. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. Thank you. Kindly be seated. We are gathered here to seek the blessings of Paramatma, the God Almighty, to bless the noble soul of Rajendra Chetty, to attain moksha or liberation, or we call it Sadgati, to unite the individual soul to the Paramatma. Now we're going to read some of the Bhagavad Gita chapter 2 chanting and some of the Vedic slokas. Then Rajendra came from one of the oldest Indian tradition from south part of India, and the mother tongue is Tamil. And some of the verses from Tevaram, the sacred text from the south part of India, it's also going to be utilized to invoke the blessings of Paramatma. Now we're going to begin with Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2. Tvamatiteva Purushaha Puranastvamasya Vishwasya Param Nidhanam Vedyasi Vedyam Cha Param Cha Dama Divya Tatam Vishwamananta Rupa. Arjuna says to Bhagavan Sri Krishna in Bhagavad Gita chapter 2 verses 38, Thou art the primal God, ancient being. Thou art the final resting place of this universe. Thou art the knower, the knowledge, and the supreme abode. By thee is universe pervaded, and thy form is infinite. Bhagavad Gita chapter 2 verses 22. Vasamsi jirnani yata vihaya navani grihnati naroparani tata charirani vihaya jirnani yanyani samyadi navani dehi. Bhagavan Sri Krishna says in these verses from Bhagavad Gita chapter 2 verses 22, as a person puts on new garments, give up the old and useless ones, the soul similarly accepts new material bodies, give up the old and useless ones. Bhagavad Gita chapter 2 verses 23. Nainam chintanti chatrani, nainam dagati pavaha, nainam kledayandyapo, nashoyadi marudaha. Bhagavan Sri Krishna says in these sacred verses, the soul can never be cut into pieces by any weapon, nor burned by fire, not moistened by water, not withered by wind. The soul is eternal. Jadasya hridyo mrityudvam janma mritasya cha tasmaha abariharyedhye nadvam sodimarhasi. Bhagavan Sri Krishna says, for certain is the death of the born, and certain is the birth of the dead. Therefore, grieve not what is inevitable. Through chanting these sacred verses from Bhagavad Gita, we seek the blessings of Bhagavan Sri Krishna upon the soul of Rajendra Chetty to attain moksha. The next are the Vedic slokas. The first one is from the Yajur Veda. Om Vedahamedam Purusham Mahanandam Aditya Varnandam Asabarashat Tvame Vidvadi Mridyumedi Nanya Pande Vidyade Anayayam. This Yajur Veda sloka says, I know the absolute supreme being who is full of splendor like the sun far beyond the darkness of ignorance. By knowing him alone, one can conquer the death and attain the bliss Ananda. There is no other path for the attainment of salvation. Yajur Veda. Om ya atmada paladashya vishwa ubhasya braghyam yashya devaha yashya sahaya mridyam yashya mridyu Kashmai Deva Haviha Vidmahe. This Yajur Veda sloka says, he who is a giver of physical vigor and the spiritual force, he whose order is carried out by the all luminous objects and by the enlightened persons, whose grace is immortality and whose disfavor is death, to that all blissful divinity we offer our humble worship. Rig Veda. Om Suryam Sakshirgasyadyum Vadamatmatyashannagaksha Pridhivim Sadharmana Abhovakakshiyedi Datra Diksha Moksha Diksha Spratiksha Sariraha. This Rigvedic sloka says, O mortal, by thy death may all the components of the body be merged into the 5 elements of this earth, the Panchabhutas. Thine eyes be absorbed in the sun and the breath into the atmosphere. May the other parts of the body merged into the appropriate elements and in accordance with the meritorious deeds. We call it in Hinduism as karma. Thou hast performed here, may thy spirit dwell in the appropriate body. Atharva Veda Sloka. Om Shamakne Bhakshat Tabasham Purushakshaha Mutrakshaha Madhradabhyainam Ekastreke Vigido Jatavetaha Samayegnam Dehi Sukrude Mulohe. This Atharva Veda Sloka says, O effulgent God, thou art the dispenser of justice and recompensate everyone according to his or her deeds. Again, the bundle of actions, we call it as karma. Peace, Shanti to the Atma of this dead body in the westward direction. May there be peace to the Atma on all other directions. O omniscient, all illuminator God, thou art the creator, the sustainer, and the destroyer of this universe. May thou bestow a worthy abode to this noble soul. Rig Veda. Om Sham Jagat Sagas Pitarbihem Samyaminashe Purde Pareme Vyoman Hidvada Vedyam Punarakshmehim Shan Jagat Sagaswa Tanva Swarsaha. This Rigvedic sloka says, O mortal, by the austerity and enlightenment and by the good deeds, the good karmas, good actions, attain the bliss Ananda in heaven, in Swarga, and join the company of their forebearers. We call it Pitru or Pitrus. Be free from all sins. And once again, may the Atma inherit an enlightened body that full of lustre. And once again, may thou come to this world to perform noble deeds. Through chanting this Vedic sloka, we seek the blessings of Paramatma to bless the noble soul of Rajendra Chetty to attain Shanti, to attain Mukti or Moksha. The next sacred verses from Thevaram, some selected verses that we're going to sing. The very first one by Saint Manikyavasaka Swamigal, Tarikilen Kaya Varkai, praising Lord Shiva and pleading to him, please take my soul into your fold. From page number 62, song number 46 of the sacred book of Thevaram. Om Tiruchitrambalam. Tarikilen Kaya Varkai Sankara Potri Vana Virtane Potri Yengal Vidalaye Potri Vopil Vortane Potri Vumbar Tambiran Potri Tillai Nirtane Potri Yengal நின்மலா போற்றி போற்றி. போற்றியோம் நம சிவாய. புயங்கனே மயங்குகின்றேன். போற்றியோம் நம சிவாய. புகலிடம் பிரிதொன்றில்லை. போற்றியோம் நம சிவாய. புறமனே போக்கல் கண்டாய். போற்றியோம் நம சிவாய. சய சய போற்றி போற்றி. போற்றிய புவனோ நீர்த்தீன். காணலோடு வானமானாய். போற்றிய உயிர்க்கும் தோற்றம் ஆகி நீ தோற்றமில்லாய். போற்றி எல்லா உயிர்க்கும் ஈராயிரின்மை ஆனாய். போற்றி ஐம்புலன்கள் நின்னை புணர்கிலா புணர்கையானே. ஓம் திருச்சிற்றம்பலம். The first paragraph, Saint Manikavasaka Swamigal says, Hail Shankara. The word Shankara means the dispenser of bliss, the oldest in the Shivaloka. And he says, you are the matchless one. You are the Lord of the celestials. You are the dancer of the Chidambaram. Please bless me and take my soul to you. And the second paragraph, we repeatedly chanting the Panchakshara mantra, the 5-syllable letter, Namah Shivaya. And he says, I'm chanting this, I'm offering my salutations and adorations to your lotus feet. And the last paragraph, Manikavasaka Swamigal says, you pervaded as earth, water, fire, wind and ether. You are the first cause of birth of all living beings, but do not take birth from anything. You are the end of all living beings, but have not anything as end. You are the supreme God. Take my soul unto your fold. Through singing these sacred verses, we seek the blessings of Lord Shiva upon the noble soul of Rajendra Chetty to attain moksha. The next sacred verses from Thevaram, from chapter 6, by Saint Sundaramurti Swamigal, வாழ்வாவது மாயம் மண்ணாவது திண்ணம். ஓம் திருச்சிற்றம்பலம். வாழ்வாவது மாயம் இது மண்ணாவது திண்ணம். வாழ்வாவது மாயம் இது மண்ணாவது திண்ணம். பாழ்வோவது பிறவி கடல் பசிநோய் செய்த பரிதான். பாழ்வோவது பிறவி கடல் பசிநோய் செய்த பரிதான். தாழாதரம் செய்மேன் தடங் கண்ணான் மலரோனும். கீழ்மேல் ஊர நின்றான் திரு கேதாரமணீரே. கீழ்மேல் ஊர நின்றான் திரு கேதாரமணீரே. நாவின் மீசை அரையனோடு தமிழ் ஞான சம்பந்தன். யாவர் சீவன் அடியார்கட்கு அடியான் அடி தொண்டன். யாவர் சீவன் அடியார்கட்கு அடியான் அடி தொண்டன் தேவன் திரு கேதாரத்தை ஊரான் ஊரை செய்த பாவின் தமிழ் வல்லார் பர லோகத்திருப்பாரே பாவின் தமிழ் வல்லார் பர லோகத்திருப்பாரே. ஓம் திருச்சிற்றம்பலம். The great Saint Sundaramurti Swamigal says in these verses, life is elusive, that this body will become earth indeed. Like Rajendra left all of us, one day we also going to leave. We have to vacate this earth. We cannot live in this earth forever. There is another great South Indian saint, Saint Ramalinga Swamigal, and he said, இன்று வருமோ நாளைக்கே வருமோ மற்ற என்று வருமோ அறியேன். He says to God, God, I know that my day will arrive. I don't know whether it's today or tomorrow or day after tomorrow. But I'm ready to leave. But while I'm here on the earth, give me strength and the courage to do good to the fellow men. Give me strength and the courage to do more good. That's all I'm asking you, God. I need your grace. Bless me with that. So in that understanding, as Sundaramurti Swamigal says, that we all need to vacate this earth. Understanding this, that we all have a time allocated for us on the earth, without wasting our time, instead of fighting with one another, instead of having discriminate and to say you are richer than me, I am stronger than you. Forget about all of that and all to live together with peace and harmony, and to say to God, bless me and do good and be good. This is what Sundaramurti Swamigal says. And then above all of that, don't forget the name on the form of God that you are adoring in your life, whatever is closer to God. That's why today, that way Rajendra came from the southern part of India, he is part of the 1860 stock that came from that generation of the surname Chetty clans, one of the very strong South Indian community that he came from. His forefathers came from. And today that we follow the same tradition today, and we pray to God, please bless the soul. And chant the Panchakshara mantra. The second paragraph, the great saint says, those who are very well versed in chanting this 5-syllable letter will be seated in the heaven. They will attain the moksha or liberation. Through singing these sacred verses, we seek the blessings of Lord Shiva upon the noble soul of Rajendra Chetty to attain moksha, mukti, sadgati in Sanskrit. May we all can say together Om Shanti 3 times, then we will continue with the program. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thank you. We have some tributes by family and friends, and also I heard there is a lot of tributes that also came across through electronically. So before we're going to proceed to that, I received the call last week from the beloved wife, Ramila. And she mentioned to me that my husband is very ill and he's on his last. And I'm just about to leave to go and meet her at the facility where he was. So before I'm going to reach, but the eternal call came and Raj passed away. Until I look at the picture and the funeral notice, I have no idea who I'm talking to and who passed away. When I received the funeral notice, when I read the full name, I had a great shock that I know this person. I have met him few times with one of his very good late Ronnie Govender. I think very clearly I remember there was a book launch that took place. I think Rajendra was there. And also subsequently Uncle Ronnie had a dedication, opened up Unity Park in the District 6 area. I remember, I think Rajendra was one of the speakers at that function. And then he referred to me all the time, whenever that myself and Ronnie sit together. I think some of you will know who Ronnie is. Ronnie is a playwright, Commonwealth Award winner, and he just passed away about, I think, just over a year now. And his dramas are something that kept to the Indian community the true feeling of the apartheid, because I came only to South Africa in 1991. I never lived during the apartheid regime time. So he portrayed the entire story. I went to watch the drama of the Catamana. That's why I came to know about what was the life of Indians in this community. Likewise, Ronnie and Rajendra also made a very significant contribution towards the liberation struggle and writing. You know, there is always be a proverb. The pen is more powerful than the sword. So through his writing, he did whatever that he's supposed to do. I was talking about service to humanity, service to God, whatever good he can able to do to fellow men. Rajendra did his fair share. I was just looking at the post from 1860, Legacy Foundation from KwaZulu-Natal. That tells you the type of person that Rajendra was. Today, that the loss is not only to the family, is to the entire South African community. May I take this opportunity on behalf of the Western Cape Hindu community, Western Cape Hindu Association, and to all 16 Hindu organizations to pay tribute to Rajendra Chetty. And there is always a proverb. Behind every successful man, there is a woman. And today we want to say to Ramila, thanks for sharing Rajendra to the South African community. Maybe many evenings, maybe he left you and maybe go to different meetings and participated in various activities to talk to the people. But your sacrifice is valued by the community. We want to pay tribute to Rajendra. And to the beloved son, our sincere condolences to the immediate family. And may you follow the footsteps and the legacy of your father. And I don't know what profession you are in, but I just met you now. But whatever you do, but to start doing something to the South African community, follow that great legacy that your father is contributed to this community. And may his noble soul continue the journey and meet the Mecca. May I have those names, or would you like to come and call the names? Come through. Sorry, I forgot. Now I would like to call upon Sumesh, the beloved son of Rajendra, to come forward, and then he will lead us through to the rest of the memorial service and tell us all about who are the speakers, followed by him. Thank you. Would you like to hold it better? This is too low. You like to give it? Okay. I don't know if your voice is loud.
Is this too low? Okay. This is too low. So I've got a few words I want to say about my dad. My cousin Shakila is going to speak after me. And then there are messages that were sent through that are going to be read by my cousin Sham. Sam is going to follow Sham. And then Serena is going to speak. My cousin Serena is going to speak last. So I apologize because I was worried I wouldn't be able to get through this. So I'm going to read this in case I don't have the strength to say what I need to say. My father was the best man I know. It's true that all sons believe this of their fathers, but in the case of my dad, everyone I met seemed to believe it too. Dad was a force of nature. He was a man who believed deeply in karma, doing right by his fellow man, and asking for nothing other than the blessings of others. He wanted very little for himself. He shared what he had with those who needed it more. He was just and ethical, deeply and fiercely protective of those he cared for. He stood up for what he believed. He stood up for others when they could not stand up for themselves or when they weren't allowed to have a voice. He terrorized the corrupt and the unlawful. Physically, when he was a young man, the stories he told me, and with his pen when he was a journalist. And he never backed down. Dad loved his family deeply. There was nothing in the world more important to him. His work in writing and his garden came close. So did his love of the Indian cricket team. And even though he didn't admit it when he was younger, he loved his food. He hit the jackpot when he married a Hindi woman who could make roti. Dad was a farm boy, born and bred. He had a hard life. As one of the eldest siblings, he had to work the farm as a child. You could see it in his calloused hands and feet. You could sometimes feel it in his demeanor. But he was also a charmer, a storyteller, suave, dapper when he wanted to be, mischievous, playful, with a very, very naughty sense of humor. He had a deep, probing interest in everyone he met, and he wouldn't stop asking questions until he discovered you were either a distant relative or a long-lost friend of the family. The universe has been cruel to my dad. For all he gave of himself, the last 10 years were not a life he should have experienced. But he was blessed to have a devoted wife of 50 years at his side who loved him unconditionally and remained optimistic that they could beat his disease together. Ma sacrificed everything to try to make him better. I had 47 years with my dad. I wish I could have had more. But I'm happy that he no longer has to suffer, and he's no longer trapped in his broken body. I'm so grateful for everything he did for me and taught me, and that I also had the opportunity to do things for him. I have many memories of my father. One of the earliest and most vivid is of him carrying me at his father's funeral. I was scared and confused because I'd never seen my father cry, and I didn't understand why he was crying. I hate that I now understand what he was feeling. I love you, Dad. Thank you for everything. I will see you again one day. Thank you. Shakila.
Vanikam, Prem Namaste, good day. It is with a heavy heart and great sadness that we are gathered today to pay our respects and bid farewell to Rajendra Chetty, a well-known personality who has been involved in journalism, sport, and several other associations. A fearless and dynamic man whose values and beliefs made him a champion of truth. He always fought for the underdog, the less privileged, to gain justice. He will be remembered for his great vision and ideas, and as a selfless, caring person, willing to help and uplift the community whenever possible. He was a people's person, and his great personality has endeared him to many over the years, and his articles and books are his legacy to society and all of us. The impact that he has had as a person on the lives of so many will be felt and known for generations to come. His amazing energy, zest for life, thirst for knowledge and righteousness led to the publication of numerous articles over the years, and the latest being a book, Darkness at Dawn. He was also instrumental in John Tarrant becoming the first white to participate in a sporting event in South Africa with people of color, making history. He is referred to as a brave fighter, and this helped him overcome many challenges over the last few years. There are in this world very few utterly honest men who uphold the truth. Rajendra Chetty was one of them, and he lived a meaningful life and is a true legend in his time. We salute and honor you, Uncle Rami. We love you. You will always be in our hearts forever. Go well. God bless. The sadness in the hearts of Aunt Romila and Sumesh are immense, and the memories of their lives together will live in their hearts forever. We pray God helps them heal and be courageous. Uncle Rami will be with you always. Shabnam Mohanlal will continue with tributes and messages from family and friends.
Vanakam, Prem Namaste, Guruji, family and friends. Today, we honor, respect, and remember a good human being who touched and enriched many lives in many different ways. Several tributes have come through. The first message is from my aunt Ruby in London and her daughter Sheena from Texas. It is with a heavy heart that I write this message. I'm sorry I cannot be with you today to say thank you for the legacy you have left behind, the beautiful memories that we will cherish forever. You touched so many lives. We're grateful to have had the privilege to be part of your life. Most of all, Rami, thank you for your book, Darkness of Dawn. This beautifully written and powerful book captures your rare qualities as a human being. The conviction, your tenacity, your quest for justice and truth highlights your rare qualities. It is written with such love and compassion, which shows us all what you always represented. It will be a book we will treasure. We honor your love for humanity made you a rare human being. You will be sadly missed by many. Our love and prayers are with Romila and Sumesh, for nothing can fill that void in their lives. We love you and will miss you always. May you find rest in your eternal home till we meet again. Death leaves a heartache no one can heal. Love leaves a memory no one can steal. The next message received was from Cyrus Monlal and family from Durban. Words cannot express how sad I am for your loss and pain, my dearest sister and nephew. My deepest sympathy, I wish I could be with you and Sumesh. Rami will always be remembered for his great deeds, his legacy as a writer. I pray God gives you both the strength to deal with this precious loss. All my love and blessings. This message was received from Ashwin Trikamji, former president of the South African Soccer Federation Professional League and president of the South African Hindu Mahasabha. He says, may I join all of us and, in particular, the sporting fraternity in extending our sincere condolences to Romila and Sumesh on the passing of our dear comrade, Rajendra. May his Atma attain eternal peace. There are so many thoughts and pictures running in my mind as I record this message. My earlier impression of this handsome guy in his black leather jacket on his motorbike in Grey Street, where I grew up, this was a rare sight those days. The fearless and at times proactive journalist, the great athletics administrator, the outstanding football administrator. He was the secretary of the South African Soccer League, and later on in his life, an equally selfless servant of religion. There are many stories that one can recall of dear Rajendra. I recall how he was threatened with his life because he refused to back off on a story he was working on as a fearless journalist. He, of course, wrote the story true to his conviction. For me, he was an outstanding journalist in our community, and I'm aware that many young journalists would today thank Rajendra for the teaching them the way. He led the way for the previously disadvantaged budding journalists in an area dominated by whites, many of whom were not good enough to tie Rajendra's shoelace. Equally, his contribution to the cause of non-racial sport, both athletics and soccer, can never be forgotten. I had the privilege of being at the end of many hot interviews in the Federation Professional League Professional League days. But we always enjoyed a mutual, respectful relationship. Of course, he certainly did not spare me when he had to, but that was Rajendra, a committed journalist. We also worked together as council members at the South African Hindu Mahasabha, where he contributed. His contributions were invaluable. We will miss him, his special presence among us, and his wise counsel at all times. Farewell, friend. The next message was from Barry, Virginia and family from Australia and New Zealand. We grieve with you all. Rajendra came from a beautiful family, and Barry remembers you all very well. On this sad occasion, we bid Raj farewell, and we extend our sympathies to you and your family. Thank you. Our next few messages will be read by Samantha. Heart. Samantha.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. The first tribute is from Yogan Devon, who is a former journalist. In a life that spanned more than 8 decades, Rajendra Chetty allowed life to guide him across brilliance as a journalist, a photographer, a researcher, sports administrator, and author. I had the privilege of working alongside this prolific writer at The Graphic in the 1970s. And later, we were colleagues when he was at the Sunday Times and I was at the Sunday Tribute. Today, as we bid goodbye to this great journalist, we remember his incredible legacy as an opinion maker and a thought leader, as he recorded history through words he typed. Rajendra was not afraid to ask the questions that others were afraid to ask. He was not frightened to write the stories that other journalists shied away from, and he was never scared to speak his mind. He championed many causes, especially the problems by the poor and downtrodden when he worked at the Golden City Post in Drum, drawing attention to the political and social abuses. He also used his pen fearlessly to promote non-racial football, which he served as an administrator of note during the dark days of apartheid. Rajendra worked on 2 print projects, the first being the history of Indian education in South Africa from 1860 to 2000, and the second, the history of Indian sport in South Africa from 1882 to 2000. His last major writing project was a book titled Darkness at Dawn, which delves into the life of Swami Nishalananda, who founded the Ramakrishna Center in South Africa. He took several years to research the book thoroughly and drew liberally from his association with the Swami to discover how his life truly ended. Rajendra's professional achievements leave an unparalleled legacy. His contribution to humanity is infinite, and he will be sorely missed. The second message that came through is from Sam Ramasamy, who says that I have known Rami, as I've called him, since his days as principal reporter for The Leader. He went on to play leading roles in several other publications. We all knew him for his uncompromising stand against apartheid. He never flinched with his ever forthright comments on numerous issues. I got even closer to Rami when I returned from the UK in 1969. During my 3-year short stay before I had to discreetly escape, we virtually met and discussed issues on a weekly basis. Politics and sports were obviously high on the agenda. Outside of football and cricket, athletics was widely practiced, but it never enjoyed the wide spectator support. During professional football matches at Carey's Foundation, we arranged athletic events at the halftime intervals. This helped profile some of the top athletes in the country. The Comrades Durban Pietermaritzburg event was exclusively for whites. He started the non-racial Gold Top Marathon between Stanger and Durban as the substitute for the racial Comrades run. This shook apartheid structures, and a white John Tarrant won the first and second race years. During weekends, his modest apartment, I think it was on Carlisle Street, became a hive of activities for both young and old. This was where Rajendra founded the De Alberton Kelly's Sporting and Football Club. Kelly's soon became a highly successful outfit in professional football. In the early stages, club members regularly met at the Orient Club in Isipingo. We were the guests of our close friend, sporting doyen, Bai Dai, who helped Rajendra run the club. I often provided pep talks under a very jovial atmosphere. Rajendra's total view of activities will fill a large sector of any encyclopedia. He led a full life, admirable all the way. Let us celebrate his life. His legacy will continue. The other tribute that came through was from Ronnie Vengan, who's a member of the Isipingo Football Club, where he says that he had the great opportunity to meet Rajendra Chetty at the age of 17. Rajendra was closely linked to the non-racial Isipingo and District Football Association and was the program director for the IDFA's 50-year Golden Jubilee celebrations. The Isipingo Soccer Fraternity conveys its sincere condolences and deepest sympathies with the bereaved family. May the soul of this brave fighter during the dark days of apartheid for non-racial sports rest in peace. He was a legend. And the last message or tribute that came through that I will read is from Subri Govender, who is also a veteran journalist. I'd come to know Rajendra Chetty in the early 1970s when he was working as a journalist for the Golden City Post and the Drum magazine. At this time, he was based in the Good Hope Centre in the Grey Street area of Durban. He was working with colleagues such as G.R. Naidu, Farouk Khan, Tix Chetty, Devin Moodley, and M.S. Roy. I used to visit the offices every Monday afternoon as a freelance journalist. Rajendra stood out as a journalist who went beyond the call of duty to cover every aspect of breaking stories, especially anti-apartheid soccer, cricket, road running, tennis, and table tennis. Many a time, we would get into heated discussions about the socio-economic political situation at the time, and I remember Rajendra always maintaining his strong standpoints. This made him a strong personality in the anti-apartheid sports world. As a journalist, he played an important role in highlighting the struggles of non-racial sports, headed by leaders such as M.N. Pather, Morgan Naidu, R.K. Naidu, R. Lachman, Kasim Basa, and Abdullah Khan. Rajendra Chetty, in fact, became so closely involved with the formation of the Anti-Apartheid South African Soccer League, Federation Professional League, the South African Council of Sport, and also road running events between Stanger and Durban and between Pietermaritzburg and Durban, when black sportsmen and women were denied the opportunity to participate in events organized by establishment organizations. From all accounts, he played his role in the promotion of non-racial sports and in the non-racial society that we all enjoy today. He will not be forgotten. May his soul rest in everlasting peace. Thank you. I now call upon Stacey Chetty.
Good afternoon, one and all. My first message is from Pramod Gupta, a retired executive director from Air India. I met Rami for the first time in Durban in July 1993, when I was posted there as Air India representative to head the Natal province. What started as a mere acquaintanceship gradually evolved into a fond and enduring relationship. South Africa at the time was in transition, and it was Rajendra who was instrumental in ironing out the various approvals of government regulations and permissions required to set up a new company in an alien world. He also helped my family settle down comfortably in our home. A people's person, he was a go-getter and a great family man. His sense of humor and wit made people around him comfortable. We shared common interests like cricket and politics. Though he was ailing for a while, one did not expect him to leave us so soon. In this hour of grief, our hearts go out to both Dramila and Sumesh, and we pray God gives you strength to bear this loss. Rami, Shanti, and rest in peace, my friend. The second message is from the Lions Roadrunners Club. It is with great sadness that the Lions boys of KwaZulu-Durban pay our last respects to Mr. Chetty. Yes, always Mr. Chetty, although we are in our early 70s. Mr. Chetty was the founder of organized road running in Natal. He single-handedly formed the Natal Road Runners Association in 1969. This was a stepping stone in the formation of organized road running clubs in Natal across all communities. The Cali's Gold Top Marathon and Cali's Gold Top Relay from Stanger to Durban are synonymous with Mr. Chetty. He encouraged clubs affiliated to the NRR to be named after fast animals, thus the formation of lions, tigers, panthers, cheetahs, and gazelles. We salute you, Mr. Chetty, for all you have done for non-racial sports in South Africa. You have run your last race, but the Lions boys will have a special place for you, and you are forever remembered. Our sincere condolences to the family, Bob, Dick, Harry, and Mike, the Lions Roadrunners Club. The final message is from Dr. Girish Modi. There is so much to say about the impact which he had on me as a person, as well as my own professional career. He also had a great personality and could endear himself to all he interacts with. My parents and our entire family have been enriched for having known him. We have fond memories which we will always cherish. He will always be remembered as a selfless, caring person who was always willing to help others whenever possible. He had a great vision for his ideas, and his ideas were ahead of his time. A person of integrity who is not afraid to stand up for his beliefs and the truth. Please accept our sincere condolence on behalf of all the family. Thank you. I'd like to call on Serena to say a few words.
Namaste, Guruji, family and friends. I have one final message, and that's from my mum in Durban, Auntie Mary. Our deepest and most heartfelt condolences to Romy and Smesh and the rest of the bereaved family. Rami was a great man with a heart of gold. He was an inspiration to many, including my children and grandchildren. We will always cherish the precious memories forever. May he rest in God's land of paradise where we shall meet again. My uncle was a voice of reason for so many, a gifted storyteller with a kind, gentle heart, but with a fierce determination for always telling the truth. He was an inspiration, touching and impacting the lives of so many across the world. Sadly, it's now time to bid our final farewell to Uncle Rami. On behalf of my Auntie Romila and Sumesh, I would like to thank everybody here today for your support and for taking the time to be with us. Thank you to all of the family and friends from all corners of the globe for the outpouring love and support, and during this trying time. It's truly appreciated. To my dearest Uncle Rami, thank you from the bottom of my heart. We thank you for giving more than you have taken from us, and for the immense happiness and joy you have given all of us these years. Thank you for always looking for the best in others and giving the best in return. It was an incredible privilege to have had you in our lives. I love you, Uncle Rami. Rest well until we meet again. Thank you.
These
6 men.
again?
6 men.
Yeah, we got to place it on the platform. Sumesh, if mummy want to be one side, she can, because just only here today. Just we're going to place it on the platform. If anyone wish to view the face before we're going to proceed, or anyone arrived late, please kindly do so. If not, then we can proceed. There's someone coming. Om Namah Shivaya, 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 Shivaya Namo, Shivaya Namo, Shivaya Namo, Om Namah Shivaya, Shivaya Namo, Shivaya Namo, Shivaya Namo, Om Namah Shivaya, 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 Om Namah Shivaya. These two boxes here need to go downstairs. Can we ask a Trevor or someone that can? Yeah. Are you going to help them? Okay. Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram O Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram O Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram O Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om. Can I kindly request all of you, please raise for a concluding prayer and Shanti Pada. Also, when we conclude, we also do the both traditions, the traditions from the south and as well as the traditions from Ramila side as well. Arihi Om Sanno Mitra Samvarnaha Sanno Bhagat Vadyamaha Sanna Indra Pragaspadihi Sanno Vishnur Rukramaha Namo Brahmane Namaste Vayuh Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahmasi Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahma Vadishyami Rudam Vadishyami Satyam Vadishyami Tanmama Vadu Tatvaktaram Avadu Avadumam Avadu Vaktaram. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Dyo Shanti Antarikshagam Shanti Pratave Shanti Apaha Shanti Roshadhayaha Shanti Vanaspatayaha Shanti Vishvadeva Shanti Brahma Shanti Sarvam Shanti Shantireva Shanti Shama Shantiredi. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा दुःखभग् भवेत् असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्यो मा अमृतङ्गमय ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः முத்தி நெறி அறியாது மோர்கொரடு முயல்வேனே பத்தி நெறி அறிவித்து பழவினைகள் பாரும் வண்ணம் சித்தமலம் அறிவித்து சிவமாக்கி என்னை ஆண்ட அத்தன் என கருளியவாறு ஆர்வெருவாரச்சோவே நெறியல்லா நெறிதழ்னை நெறியாக நினைவேனே சிறுநெறிகள் சேராமே திருவருளே சேரும் வண்ணம் குறியொன்றும் இல்லாத கூத்தண்டன் கூத்தையனக்கு அறியும் வண்ணம் அருளியவாறு ஆர்வெருவாரச்சோவே செம்மை நலம் அறியாத சிதடொரோடும் திரிவேனே மும்மை மலம் அறிவித்து முதலாய முதல்வன் தாள் நம்மையும் ஓர் பொருளாக்கி நாய் சிவிகை ஏற்றுவித்த அம்மையன கருளியவாறு ஆர்வெருவாரச்சோவே அம்மையன கருளியவாறு ஆர்வெருவார் அச்சோவே ஓம் திருச்சிற்றம்பலம் கல்லாப்பிழையும் கருதாப்பிழையும் கசந்துருகி நில்லாப்பிழையும் நினையாப்பிழையும் நின்னைந்தெழுத்தை சொல்லாப்பிழையும் துதியாப்பிழையும் தொழாப்பிழையும் எல்லா பிழைகளையும் பொறுத்தருள்வாய் கட்சியே கம்பனே. ஓம் திருச்சிற்றம்பலம். அருட்பெரும் ஜோதி தனிப்பெரும் கருணை தனிப்பெரும் கருணை அருட்பெரும் ஜோதியே. வாழ்க அந்தனர் வானவரானின்னும் வாழ்க அந்தனர் வானவரானின்னும் வீழ்க தன் போனல் வேந்தனும் ஓங்குக ஆழ்க தீயதெல்லாம் அரண்நாமமே சோழ்க வையகமும் துயர் தீர்கவே சோழ்க வையகமும் துயர் தீர்கவே. ஓம் திருச்சிற்றம்பலம். தென்னாடுடைய சிவனே போற்றி, என் நாட்டவர்க்கும் இறைவா போற்றி. இன்பமே சூழ்க எல்லோரும் இன்புற்று வாழ்க. ஓம் சாந்தி சாந்தி சாந்தி. நம பார்வதீபதையே ஹர ஹர மகாதேவ. நம பார்வதீபதையே ஹர ஹர மகாதேவ. நம பார்வதீபதையே ஹர ஹர மகாதேவ.
Thank you. May we take the opportunity on behalf of Romila and Smesh and on behalf of all the Chetty families to say thank you to each and every one of you for coming along and participating in this memorial service. Thanks to all of them, those who are joined in via the live streaming. And thank you to Brandlin and Pinetown Funeral Services for organizing a dignified funeral service for Rajendra Chetty. Thank you to the Maitland Crematorium officials. Thank you to Jonathan from Oliver Express for live streaming. God bless all of you. Om Shanti. The immediate family, please follow the instructions of Brandlin and join with us downstairs to do a bit of last rites. And we kindly request those who wish to join, you're most welcome. Thank you. Sumesh.
Something we give an opportunity to the extended families, but which I don't want to do it in the chapel because everyone was here. But the very close-knit family, I don't know who they are. They all can come downstairs. We'll do that. Then those who would like to leave, they can leave after. But you, Mummy, will be just to be part of the last bit of lighting the camphor and so on. But I know it's going to be a bit of a touchy part of that story. But the dad that you loved is not there anymore. So it's just a body. So let's get this to the Mother Nature. So I want you to be a bit stronger. I didn't have a chance to speak to you earlier. So I said, I told Mummy what. Okay, all right, thank you. Yes, yes, okay. Can you take this also?
The box is the number.
Namah Shivaya. Namah Shivaya.